suspected Franco and Heard were having an affair. Heard denied having an affair, but the court said it didn't matter if it was true or not. It would not justify any abuse against Heard.
Still with us live in studio, trial attorney Erica Wilson, and now welcoming in Phoenix, Arizona, former criminal defense attorney who represented Jodi Arias, Kirk Nurmi. Thank you for joining us, Kirk. One of the things I want to talk about, because viewers have said, can the findings from the United Kingdom, from the UK lawsuit that Johnny Depp lost, can those be used in this trial here in the United States? Let me start with you, Erica.
I don't think it can be used to be a directive, but it certainly can be instructive for the court here to kind of consider what the facts that particular court. Again, these are completely different jurisdictions and different laws, but I think certainly something can be said for the, it can be instructive to the court here to kind of look at and get some general guidance as to how another trier of fact has looked at these same facts and how they got to their particular ruling.
And we know that any sworn testimony from that trial can certainly be used here to perjure, if it's appropriate, a witness who's testifying again in this trial. Kirk, tell us your overall thoughts about this trial as you've been watching Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and the testimony you've seen.
Yeah, it's really a tragic tale, right? We're seeing both these two lives exposed in this relationship, this toxic relationship come to life. But one of the things I see here, as we've demonstrated what Mr. Depp did on the stand, is tell a good tale of abuse, and we heard tales of mutual abuse as well. But now we're really getting into, when we see this cross-examination, the issue of damages, the issue of drug use. And I think what Team Heard is doing now is trying to demonstrate the idea that, well, any income that was lost is based on his own drunken rage, his own drug-induced rage, and perhaps delusions based on that aren't true, as we're seeing with the possibility of a relationship with Mr. Franco.
And is there any argument in response to that, he's very honest, Johnny Depp is, or has seemingly been, about his drug use and his alcohol and drinking and how long he's done drugs. Since the time he was 15, he says he virtually has tried every drug there is. So why now? Doesn't it mean that theoretically his entire movie career he's been using these substances? Why all of a sudden would it be, but it's affected his ability to get work? Erica.
Well, I think it's not necessarily his drug use per se. I think it's the light in which he was shown in this article, right? That he's saying, everybody kind of looked at it, I'm beloved, everybody loves me, I'm very personable, and then now, because of how you have characterized it, your words has caused damage to my particular career. Because again, actors, listen, it's synonymous with drug use. It's like rock and roll, right? We expect that at some point there's going to be some association with some sort of drug use, but then when you add on to that the domestic violence and conjunction and saying that it's kind of a drug-induced situation, then that certainly can be damaging.
Yeah, and this, all of the toxic, that was the best word to describe it, I think. And to demonstrate that, let's listen to a little bit of the testimony. Johnny Depp confronted by a headbutt video. Let's watch, or audio rather.
You would agree that that you headbutted Miss Heard that evening, correct?
No, I would vehemently disagree with that, sir. There was a lot of... I was trying to restrain Ms. Heard, and once I had restrained her, I would say, if she's trying to still move around and kick at me or trying to get loose, any sort of movement when you're like this, or your heads are together, this close together, it's not impossible for them to bump. But I didn't. Well, you did.
Yeah,
Thanks for your sorry.
He had me screaming. It's like somehow the end all be all sort of offensive thing. You can throw a punch, or screaming is okay. You can headbutt somebody screaming, but don't scream.
I headbutted you.
Couldn't believe you did that.
Forehead. That doesn't break a nose.
I don't know if you...
Mr. Depp, you said I headbutted you in forehead, that doesn't break a nose. Correct?
I did say those
Okay,
words, but
all right,
I didn't. I said I was using the words that Ms. Heard was using.
Okay.
But there was not an intentional headbutt.
Okay.
And if you want to have a peaceful conversation with Ms. Heard, you might have to placate just a little bit.
All right, he tries to get out of that headbutt, I think, in watching him testify. Kirk, what do you think his credibility is like for the jury on these answers?
I think his credibility is pretty high. Whatever we think of him, he was open and honest during his direct examination. And we also see something very important, Ashley. As you know, childhood trauma can pave the way towards these sort of toxic relationships. And he talked about as a child retreating from his mother and hiding and that sort of thing, and placating, if you will. So I think he's done a pretty good job with, when we talk about even the specifics of this headbutt, that he was acting really in accordance with this childhood trauma, how he escaped from it, trying to placate Miss Heard.
All right, what do you think, Erica, of the credibility of Johnny Depp under cross-examination?
I like him. I like him under cross. He's a little bit too combative for my liking. I think his attorneys could have laid the foundation for some of this stuff on direct because he was, you know, more comfortable and personable with his attorneys. And then now you kind of get this, like, kind of catty back and forth between him and the attorney. I hope that the jurors don't diminish all of the things that Kirk said earlier in terms of his childhood trauma, because sometimes it really boils down to not even credibility, whether or not the jurors like you.
Right. We know that's the truth in these trials. All right, you're both going to stay with me. Our coverage of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard defamation trial will continue. When we return, we'll take a listen to more of the cross-examination where Depp is contradicting some of his earlier testimony.